get through a game with 100% ball security first time this season?
No, it was huge. Definitely was something that we've talked about all year and been a focus for us. And we talk about it going into every game is winning the ball. And obviously it starts with us being great with ball security and then defense being able to generate turnovers. So, definitely something that we'll have to continue to do.
Matt has lauded your decision-making these past 2 weeks. What do you think's clicked for you coming out of the bye in terms of being more deliberate and decisive with where to go with the ball?
Yeah, it just comes down to understanding what the defense is trying to do, seeing the coverage, and obviously post-snap, recognizing if they're bluffing or doing any disguise. But after that, it just turns into finding completions. Obviously wanting to push the ball downfield and exploit whatever coverage they might be in. But, if we don't have a great play, just understanding where I need to go and finding those checkdowns for sure.
Last year, y'all had one of these quick turnarounds, and y'all played extremely well on Thanksgiving. Just from your experience, what's the key to kind of thriving in these short weeks?
Yeah, the short weeks are tough, but obviously trying to get as much film in as possible and understand who you're going against, and then the game plan. We have a short week. We're cramming 2 days into one today with third downs and red zone. So I think just everybody being locked into here, staying in the playbook when we go home, and obviously getting our bodies back and having everybody healthy is kind of the key.
Jordan, this is the start of 4 straight night games. You had so many afternoon games first part of the season. How does your mindset have to change in preparation for this stretch?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different when you go from those 12 o'clock kickoffs to night kickoffs in terms of just waking up on game day and you're not going straight to a game. So I don't think it'll be anything challenging. I think guys in this locker room have all done that before. So I think if we have the right mindset, just preparing for the game and being ready to go out there and execute, I think we'll be just fine.
How much is it for you feeling healthy, feeling good? Is that where your play is kind of taken off a little bit more? Do you feel good now?
Yeah, I feel good, but I think whether you're feeling good or bad, it all comes down to, like we said, just taking care of the ball and doing great things in that. And I think play will take care of itself. But like I said, just continue to keep growing in the offense and understanding where I need to go with the ball and being able to recognize coverage and things like that. And but I think it all starts with just taking care of the ball.
I watched you for 4 years. You're optimistic. You're trying to fix things. I've seen you disappointed or frustrated after a 3-4 game losing streak. But do these games ever make you angry, or is that a place you don't want to go during a game or as a football?
What game? Does what game make me angry?
No. Is there something about that? You seem to be very composed and just moving to the next thing, right? Is there anything that really gets anger going in you?
No. I think throughout the course of the game, I try and focus on all the details that. As a quarterback, there's so much going on that I just try and be as focused as possible because I feel like that's when I play at my best. But, there's things that happen throughout the course that, emotions might flare, but just trying to reset, move on to the next play because, if you let things kind of carry over and kind of hurt your focus for the next play, it's just gonna make that next play bad. So I try and always just move on to the next play. I'll be able to watch things and break it down later when we watch tape. But I can't just focus on what I need to focus on and control what I need to control out there.
Jordan, maybe along those same lines, because of the emotions of beating the 49ers in the game, you guys said that you wanted to get back. You players or coaches maybe address, maybe not having that letdown game, especially because of the quick turnaround and try to stay focused and locked in and not worry, with the Dolphins?
Yeah, no, I think, every game you got to be so focused and prepared for who you're about to play. You can't ever, look a week ahead or, stay lingering on, I guess, the week before. So you got to take every week as it is and focus on who you're playing because, if you ever look past anybody, you're gonna get beat. So, we're all focused on the Miami Dolphins coming here on Thursday.
With Sheed and Zach, it's not every year a team can draft their franchise tackles in the third round like they did. What have you thought of how those two have kind of locked down those two spots and kind of what they've meant for you, and being able to be as consistent as they've been out there?
Yeah, those guys have been doing a great job. They're going against some of the best edge rushers in the NFL, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. But It's all about the way they prepare, and they're not making too many mistakes out there, which is the first part, and then they're going out there and just execute and give me enough time and to get the ball off, and they've been doing a great job. So. I can't say enough good things about them, but they got a real tough duty every week going against some of these guys who are just some of the best players in the NFL. So I think they've been doing a great job.
You mentioned finding completions, but also wanting to push the ball downfield. Is that a tricky balance for you? You got a big arm, you want to use the big arm. Sometimes the completion is not downfield. How do you approach that?
Yeah, it's definitely always tricky. I definitely am a guy who always wants those big plays. Want to put that pressure on the defense and take some of those shots. And I think it's a credit to the guys we got in the receiver room too. That I trust those guys to be able to take some of those shots. But those are the lessons that I had to learn last year, and I'm continuing to learn. It's just weighing the right time to take those shots. If guys get a step or if we get the right coverage, versus just finding those completions, because these checkdowns and just finding those completions turn into big plays as well sometimes. So just understanding where I need to go with the ball, but I love pushing the envelope and pushing the ball downfield for sure.
How do you get yourself to know, okay, this isn't the time to push the envelope, like find the underneath stuff? What's the process for that with you, especially when you do want to push the envelope?
Yeah, that all comes down to coverage recognition, just understanding why we're calling certain plays, and Matt does a great job at that. Is every week when we game plan these plays, is this is the coverage we like it for, and this is what we think is going to be there. If we don't get that, find a different completion, or I'm always surveying the field. If post snap, they mess up, somebody slips, or they might bust the coverage. Some things happen, but with certain plays, you're calling it for a certain look, and if you don't get that look, move on.
Jordan, when you look at I know you haven't had much time here, but when you look at Miami's defense, what stands out to you?
No, a lot of things. They're a very good defense, and they have really good players. I know they're banged up a little bit with some of their edge rushers, but I think all across the board they got really good players. And especially in the back end. But it's tough because on such a short week, this is a defense that they got a lot of stuff in their arsenal in terms of coverages, pressures, and in a game they're mixing up their calls and giving you a bunch of different looks. So it's a game that you got to be focused in and dialed in on all the pre-snap tells you might get, and just seeing what they're getting to post-snap. But they're a very good defense. We talked about at the beginning of the week. They're top 10 in almost all the categories. So, definitely a really good challenge coming here Thursday.
One of the reasons you find yourself playing on Thanksgiving again, because last year your game in Detroit set a record in ratings. Do you guys, do you thrive on that prime time spotlight that your team will have in the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's awesome. Anytime you're prime time, especially playing on a day like Thanksgiving, where I grew up, eating Thanksgiving food and watching football. So, a lot of people, that's kind of the tradition. So, it's definitely special, and we love these primetime games for sure.
How well do you know Tua? Are you in the same draft class?
Yeah, I've met Tua a couple of times. He's another guy who's with Athletes First, my agency. So, I've been around him in the off season, a couple of different events, and Tua's a great guy. I got a lot of respect for him, and it's always fun being able to catch up with him. But yeah, that's about it.
You like playing in the cold?
In the cold?
Yeah, you like playing it?
I don't mind. It is what it is. Being here in Green Bay, it's one of those things where it's going to, second half of the season it's going to be cold, and you got to go out there and play whatever the conditions might be. So, I think I would prefer to be in an indoor stadium where you don't got to worry about any of those conditions affecting, throwing and things like that. But at the same time, I definitely think it is our advantage playing here. We practice in the weather every day in the cold, so especially a team coming from Miami, I'll take that any day.
The SoCal, that whiteboard off yet for you?
No, I love it. I always talk about it. Anytime you can play in an indoor where you just don't got to worry about the factors affecting throws, things like that. It's perfect, but like I said before, it is definitely our advantage though to have that.
Do you think it's easier for a northern team to go play south where it's hot versus a southern team having to come up and play in the cold?
I think either way you look at it, there's pros and cons, but I think if you're a team that's playing in warm weather all year around, and then you got to go play, I mean, it might not be snowing this week, but if you got to go play in the snow and just conditions that you don't see all the time, it's tough. But you can say the same thing for like an indoor team or a team here playing in cold weather, going and playing in the hot. You got to prepare and hydrate for that warm weather. So I think there's pros and cons both ways.
Jordan, you guys had some success on Sunday. I don't know exactly what you call it, but the run where you turn around and fake the horizontal handoff and then give it to Josh up the middle. What does that do to maybe, because the first play of the game, you guys freeze the corner coming off the edge and open up some space. What do you think the effectiveness is of that? And how important is it when you're running the ball 30-plus times to really change up some of the looks out of the backfield?
No, it's huge, and that's something that this offense thrives in, and the coaches do such a great job just game planning that stuff. But we talk about all the time, using motions and things like that are at our advantage, because it causes, we call it consternation, and kind of just freezes the linebackers and DBs and might make them hesitate that one extra second where now the O-line can get up to that second level and get on them blocks. But yeah, I mean, at the same time too, when we have all these motions and different actions, we can build plays off plays and make everything look the same. So now, it just causes that little bit of hesitation for the defense, and I think it's definitely to our advantage.